Daily, which is Oprah Winfrey's online digital platform for storytelling, lists 28 of the best Black romance movies through the decade. This online article is written by Mackenzie Jean Phillip and was published December the 23rd, 2021. So let's delve into this article and see what it has to say about Black romance and Black love. When it comes to depictions of Black stories in Hollywood, aside from belly laughs induced by some of our most rewatched comedies, there's perhaps no other better pure, understated depiction of joy than a romance. Many pop culture savants will point to the 1990s, which is widely viewed as the sweet spot for Black romance movies. The decade gave way to essential classics like Poetic Justice and Love Jones. Do you remember these films? I definitely do. And I truly fell in love with Love Jones. Who could resist the on-screen chemistry between Nia Long and Lorenz Tate? And what about the artsy atmosphere and the poetry? It was definitely a highlight for me. I watched the movie and I fell in love with the characters immediately. And don't get me started in talking about Janet Jackson and Tupac in Poetic Justice. I loved her braids and I loved the storyline as well. But years later, in a country that puts so much value on the impact of entertainment, the mainstream rom-com genre is still overwhelmed with depictions of predominantly white characters falling in love. This exists in the direct contrast to the wants of Black viewers, who have long craved an increase in the depiction of complex, love-filled content when it comes to the big screen. When you are only portraying certain people as being worthy of love, or that certain people are worthy of being centered, that is very much making an implicit political statement, says Carol V. Bell, a media, politics, and identity researcher who contributed to the upcoming essay collection, Black Love Matters. She continues, especially today, part of how we construct our identities and come to terms with our identities is seeing ourselves through the media and seeing media that we identify with. If you're never able to find stories that you relate to in which people share aspects of your identity or sexuality, that can be really problematic. Thankfully, there are creators of past and present who recognize that disparity and make room for those necessary stories. University of Chicago Associate Professor of Cinema and Media Studies, Allison Nadia Fields, has long studied the history of Black cinema. In 2019, she even helped to discover film's earliest depiction of affection between two Black actors. It's a cheerful 29-second silent clip called Something Good Negro Kiss, 1898, in which the performers hold hands and share a sweet peck. Just reading about this and learning of the discovery of this silent film clip makes me smile. It makes me think of old Black Hollywood, and it also reminds me that I have a book in my basement that features Black cinema and Black filmmaking and Oscar Micheaux. So I am truly enjoying this particular article, and I hope you are as well. And we are going to continue. Associate Professor Fields goes on to explain, since the 19th century, little-known filmmakers have always worked in the background to depict Black love in any way they can. We're discovering a lot of films by directors like Oscar Micheaux and Spencer Williams. We're getting a fuller sense of what audiences might have been exposed to, and that's really exciting. She tells Oprah Daily, at times throughout film history, societal and structural racism kind of worked in tandem to dehumanize Black people in pop culture. That's why I think these images are so important. And for films from the silent era to now, when you see instances of love, affection, and companionship, films do really important work to counter these prevalent misrepresentations in popular culture. And while there is still progress being made, why not celebrate the irresistible Black romance that exists on our screens today? TV is definitely having a moment. Please check out HBO's Love Life Harlem on Amazon Prime, and of course, Insecure. But there's nothing like a great movie. Here are some of our favorites, from 2021's epic drama Malcolm and Marie to seeing Diahann Carroll shine in Claudine. These best Black romance movies through the decade will be given to you in chronological order, starting with Malcolm and Marie, starring Zendaya and John David Washington. Lovers Rock, which takes us to a house party in the 1980s in London, where we meet characters Martha, who succumbs to the irresistible pull of love. Then there's Sylvie's Love, which is set in New York City in the summer of 1957. This one sounds very interesting to me. Also, we have The Photograph, starring Issa Rae and Lakeith Stanfield. Next, we have Queen and Slim, and a lot of people have talked about this particular movie, which is starring Zora Howard and Joshua Boone. If Beale Street Could Talk, I've seen this particular one, starring Regina King and Stephen James and Kiki Lane. We also have Moonlight, and we have Southside with You. We also have About Last Night, Beyond the Lights, Think Like a Man. Have you read the book? I know I haven't, but I've heard a lot about this particular book and Steve Harvey. We also have Jumping the Broom. That looks interesting, but I've never seen a lot of these films. Just Right. I love Queen Latifah and Common. We also have Why Did I Get Married, starring Janet Jackson and Tyler Perry. We have Daddy's Little Girl, which I really enjoyed watching, and that was Gabrielle Union and Idris Elba. We have Deliver Us from Eva. Ooh, we're going back in time. Also, Brown Sugar with Sanaa Lathan and Taye Diggs. Love and Basketball, Sanaa Lathan again, but this time Omar Epps. We have The Best Man. Oh my God, I definitely enjoyed that one. Taye Diggs and Sanaa Lathan again. We also have How Stella Got Her Groove Back. Did you read the book? Did you enjoy the book? We also have Love Jones, which we discussed at the beginning of this video. And we have Waiting to Exhale. Yes, 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 Terry McMillan. I love your books. And this one stars Whitney Houston, of course, Angela Bassett, Loretta Devine, and Layla Rashawn. This unforgettable tale of friendship and romance follows four best friends as they lean on each other through hard times in their love lives. Next, we have Jason's Lyrics, starring Jada Pinkett Smith and Forrest Whitaker. Tupac Shakur and Janet Jackson in Poetic Justice. Eddie Murphy, Robin Gibbons, and Halle Berry in Boomerang. And then our 1974 Claudine, which starred Diahann Carroll and James Earl Jones. And the last but not least, movie 28 is A Warm December, which is from 1973, starring actor and director Sidney Poitier, as well as Esther Anderson, Yvette Curtis, and Earl Cameron. I believe that we as romance writers can learn a lot from watching film.